Okay, guys, here we are. A new year and more tanks to build. Okay. Get everything situated. This area is pretty darn clean. Pretty darn picked up. And we're going to go ahead and continue building our T-70s from Plastic Soldier Company. And here's a finished one right here. Cute little thing. And little 3-man tank. 1/72nd scale or 20 mil. And here's the other one we're working on. I think I'm going to make the commander sticking out of it. I'm not quite so sure, but we didn't get a chance to finish it. We're in the middle of holidays came up and I wasn't able to finish it. So this is what we're going to finish, and then we'll do the third one, and then we'll move on to something else. So okay, let's lose this mouse. We don't need this mouse right this second. And so you get your utensils here. All right. Let's lose the glasses so I can see what I'm doing. All right. We've got a hatch here. Nope, no, that's the fuel. That's the jerry can. Okay. Here is the hatch for this thing. Let's go ahead and pop these pieces off. And let's see. We're going to need the horn, the spare wheel, the muffler, and these two side boxes there. That's it. We can we can wait on the spare track. I'm not putting the spare track the same on all of them. That seems a little hokey-ish to have to do that sort of thing. Trim this little bit here. I never quite understood where somebody was saying that if you use like an X-Acto knife or something that is dull, it's actually more dangerous. Yeah, because you're putting a lot of force on it, not because it's really intrinsically more dangerous. Because you're having to overpower it. This looks a little different than normal. Why does this look different? I didn't do it any different than normal. Okay, everything running okay here? Let's see here. Yeah, chat box looks a little different. I don't know why. I always gotta screw with stuff, don't they? Let's see. What if I do this? What do we get there? Let me take a look at one thing here. Let's go. Let's go this and see if it looks the same there. There it is. Now I see it over there. Now, is it on this screen? No, it's not. It's not. I do not see the chat box here. Oh man. Alright, well I guess I won't view from there. I'll view from here. Welcome, Joe. Happy New Year. Yep, finally got on the ground. I swear I do this every time the same way. And still isn't good enough. I don't understand why it's not coming up on this screen here. There we go. All right, let's go back out here. There we go. Now, why does it always default to something else? Okay. Now I got my screen on there. Yeah. Had a great vacation, except yesterday. Yesterday and today, flight got delayed overnight, and I had to go to work today. And it actually turned out okay, but it's bad enough to... It just sucked. But it could have been a lot worse. But I had this piercing neck ache yesterday, just bad. I must have pinched something in my neck. I don't know, maybe it was the stress out of the flight. But other than that, everything went great. Weather was great. I avoided a machete attack in Times Square because we weren't there on that day. Would not go to Times Square on that day. That's absurd. But yeah, it was some loon attacked a bunch of people, I heard. I'm surprised there was space to swing a machete as tight as it was. Yeah, we got some tanks to build. Got ones to build after these. Lots to do. Lots of 1/72nd scale goodness planned for 2023. Make sure that it needs to be on this one and not... Okay, I think that's where it needs to be. It's really annoying when the settings get changed because I don't change them. That's too much effort. I'm not interested in changing stuff like that. I'm a painting person, not a technology person. All right, let's trim. We're going to punt on the hatch on this one. We may leave this one open with the hatch so we can have a commander sticking out of it. Okay, I think that's all the moving parts, so to speak, that go on there. How's the level on this thing looking? I wonder how it ended up getting some sediment in there. It's kind of strange. All right, let's put the spare road wheel on there first. We'll start off with that. This is going to go right down here. So there was a 21 car pileup here in Florida on New Year's Eve in the news. And I like how they said that they didn't know what the cause of the accident was. Alcohol maybe? Geez, just a thought. I've only driven out and about once in the last, I don't know, 20 years maybe. And it was a couple years ago. And I won't do it again because even though I was plenty sober, you know, because I'm an adult and I can plan it. Hey, Kevin, Happy New Year. Just because I can plan it, everybody else on the road was not. And it was freaking scary. It was scary. So I had no idea there was that many irresponsible folks. Did you have a good New Year's? A warm New Year's in Arizona. I had a great New Year's. It went really, really well. My whole trip went really well. From the 26th until I was supposed to get in yesterday. I didn't get in until today. Fog delay. Plane couldn't take off because there was too much fog here. I don't know. I'm just glad that they flew safely, so it all worked out. But that wasn't a fun surprise. But it is what it is. Everything else went great other than that. Came back today. The place hadn't burned down. I think one thing that helped is we were open, but most businesses weren't. So there was nobody around to change their mind and then do everything that they had told me they wanted a certain way before they left. Before we left for the holidays. So this is the holiday I like. I basically leave work and nobody's worked and nothing has happened since I've left because the whole plant is closed. So big fan of that stuff. Rain like crazy. We only got rain on New Year's, and it didn't rain like crazy. We're up in Connecticut, and had a good time in New York City. Can't wait to go back. But as my daughter said, this place is really cool, but I wouldn't want to live here. I agree completely. I thought it was very cool, and I'd been there before, but it went really well this time. But you got to be a hustler. You got to be, you got to go, and get stuff done. And we did that at the beginning of the vacation. It was only 3 days there, and then the rest of it was visiting folks that we know in Connecticut. Went really well, though. Weather was perfect. Absolutely perfect. But I had no idea so many Yankees were such sissies with the cold weather. They had the freaking heater blaring everywhere, and I hate the heater. Hey, Jules, Happy New Year. Across the pond there. Mitch, I don't get to see him today. It's not until tomorrow. I'm sure he was running around barefoot. Yeah, like my daughter said, it's really cool place, but I wouldn't want to live there. That's within moments. And I agree. Can't wait to go back. I think it's, I like the buildings. I think the tall buildings are fascinating. But would never want to live there. Absolutely not. Okay, this is the optional hatch, and here's the commander that could potentially go on there, and then that one's complete. Let's move on to the last one. We're going to go ahead and take these pieces off, and then we're done with this sprue. Okay, last T70. Third and final T70. Let's use a sprue cutter. We don't get a chance to do this very often. So yeah, I missed the lunatic in Times Square by, well, we were gone after the 29th. I don't know if it was at Times Square a little bit. I was crowded, but I thought everybody was all right. There's a lot of people that weren't from New York there, so that kind of helped the situation. I didn't get sick. Felt great every day. Actually, I woke up like I was getting sick, and then I went outside and breathed the quote-unquote fresh air and felt better. And the heater and carpet, just those two things together, just brutal. I don't have either one of those two things at home. I have no carpet at home, and we don't run the heater. Okay. That's all the bottom things, right? Yep. Let's get that. Let's get these pieces rolling on here. Okay, there's that there. All right, I was just here just a second ago. The little sanding piece. Don't make me get another one, because I will. It's not like I don't have enough. There we go. Flew over here. We've got lots of tanks to do in 2023. And figures. We're going to do some 20 millimeter figures. I don't think I'm going to get to any 15 millimeter figures this year. My heart's just not there. You know, I got plenty of them. Hey, Justin. Happy New Year's. Hope you had a good one. Would have been on yesterday, but wasn't here. I wouldn't have been on anyways. It was supposed to arrive about 10:30 at night. So it would have been, by the time we got back to the house, it'd be after 11. But that didn't happen. We got stuck midway. It all worked out, I guess. With none of my stuff on my carry-on, because I don't want to have any liquids and stuff on the carry-on. I hate going through security. It's such a pain in the ass. It's really annoying when you got a better record than the people that are giving you the security check. You know? Like, I should be checking them. What's on the list 2023 as far as modeling goes? Man, we got a lot of tanks. We got these T70s to do. I'm going to get to some figures. I'm going to get to some 20 millimeter figures, but we got some stuff that's on order that hopefully will arrive. Some other unboxings. Really enjoying doing these vehicles. You know, and since I stopped painting 15s, which has been, I don't know, 3 months or something like that, I got a lot of vehicles done. So, you know, if I get tired of one vehicle, I just do a different one. You know, not like I've got to commit to a certain army for a while, but I got enough 15 millimeter stuff painted for the time being, so I don't think I'm going to be getting to any 15s in 2023. I'd be surprised. And likewise, I'm not really in a hurry to play this with this stuff. You know, I'm not saying I'm not going to. I'm just saying that's just not what the priority is for it. But it is an Any German half-track models? Oh yes, sir. About 5, already all put together, in various states of disrepair. I noticed stuff like this is unusual, that I have more than one from the same manufacturer. They've got an Eshi half-track and a Fujimi half-track and a BP Cass one, and I've had these things a long time. So you'd go into a store and 20 years ago when you'd buy it because it was there. And I actually found a real hobby store in Connecticut, a real hobby store. I mean, this place was well organized. It was a really good hobby store. Unfortunately, for me, all they had was pretty much all 1/35th scale models, and they had a lot of them. I mean, they had all your standard fare plus a bunch of DML kits. They had all kinds of stuff there. And they did have some 1/72nd scale stuff, but nothing I was looking for. Nothing I was looking for. They had some trumpeter models and nothing that really went what I needed. But it was a legit hobby store. But German half tracks, yeah, I got maybe 5 to 7. No weird versions of them. They're all 251s. I got a couple 251Ds, but nothing like a bridge layer or a flamethrower half track. Nothing really extraordinary that I already have. I got one Sierra that needs a bridge layer one. Got one of those skirmish campaigns. The Germans needed 251-7. And I don't have one. Because this is a scenario where they've got to put a bridge down in a certain amount of time. And it's mostly just an infantry fight. What about a German Puma? I have one. It's a pre-built one, so it's going to get a repaint. What I don't have, of armored car-wise, I do not have a 222. So I was looking, and I want to say Italeri. I always call them Italieri, but I think it's Italeri. Italeri, I think, makes a 1+1. 2 of them in the box type of thing. So Alberto Martin Bartolome, welcome. Hello from Spain. Ah, yes, the old country. Maybe one day I'll get a chance to go there. Haven't been. Did have some Spanish food, though, this weekend. So, speak Spanish? Si. I do, but I don't speak technical stuff, so it would be very difficult for me to talk about my job or something like that. So, it's just small conversational, speak to my folks in Spanish kind of stuff. But it would be very hard to do this technical stuff in Spanish. I don't have the vocabulary for it. Everybody likes Pumas. It's a good-looking vehicle. See, what else is new? What else is new on the World War II front? Geez, I don't know. I don't know what's new, but I checked out a hobby couple stores in New York City when I was there. One of them was a train place called the Red Caboose, like literally in a basement. And that place was, I don't know that I've ever been in a place this tight. It is extremely tight. And they did have some scale models in there. And they had a few 1/72nd scale things, but again, you know, nothing I want. I did go to the infamous Complete Strategist at the base of the Empire State Building. And it's mostly role-playing Warhammer kind of place, so not really a place for me. But I did get an Osprey book that was right down my alley. Other than that, oh, I better cut this one first. There we go. Now we'll take this one off. I would have spent more time in that one hobby store in Connecticut that was a legit hobby store, but I think they smoked in there. Like, its place smelled like an ashtray, so I didn't really want to spend a whole lot of time there. I was with my family, and next thing you know, I got clothes that smell like an ashtray that they've got to deal with. So I did a quick glance. There was nothing there I couldn't live without, and moved on. Nothing I couldn't live without. But I got a couple things coming in the mail that we'll do unboxings on. Check them out. And I think they're things that nobody else has an unboxing video on. So that's not why I got them. It just kind of worked out that way. Warhammer is overpriced 2 times over. If Warhammer was free, I wouldn't do it. It just doesn't interest me. You know, so I can see that it's those people spend a lot of time on a lot of expense on their advertising and stuff. They got to recoup it, you know. I mean, that's why some things are so expensive, because they got a lot of overhead to cover. I'm just not interested in the subject matter, you know. So, we all have a limited time on this earth. I'd rather not spend it doing that. Not my thing. Never has been. I got a little game on the phone that's a Warhammer game. That's about it. What game is it? It's a dungeon crawl thing. It's actually a pretty cool game. I haven't played it in a while, but played the hell out of it when I got it. What is it? Warhammer Quest or whatever? It's a good-looking little top-down, turn-based little thing, but other than that, that's the only Games Workshop game I've ever played. Oh, and Talisman. Played Talisman a while ago. That was a fun game until somebody wanted to play that. What, the Prophetess or whatever, that can pull 2 cards and play 1. That's nonsense. Annoying character. Other than that, I've never played Games Workshop anything. So our Warhammer stuff, now deep into Flames of War until summer comes. Well, I've played Flames of War. It's not, I need something a little bit more detailed, but, at least it's World War II. I don't know if I'd want to play it in a tournament, but you could use it to play historical battles. Their website's phenomenal. I love their website. There's all kinds of real world stuff in there that's useful, like histories of like units and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of their, I'm a big fan of their website. Sometimes a little hard to find some things, but hey, it's free. What do you want, ideas for paint schemes and unit histories of different stuff. They got some good stuff on there. I've spent a fair amount of time perusing their site. But you got to do what people do in the area. If all your gamers want to do a certain thing, you build for fun now. Yeah, that's the way to go. Do what you want when you want to, and nobody can tell you otherwise. Freedom always fits. That's what I like to say. One size fits all. I'm not building stuff for conventions anymore. I'm not going to run stuff at conventions. Go to them, I'm just going to hang out. No responsibilities. I like their website. I don't like the codex mentality type games. You know? What's the name of the models? Well, I buy all kinds of stuff, Justin. These happen to be Plastic Soldier Company. I know it's really creative that they had with their... They don't come in a box, but it's Plastic Soldier Company, and they do make stuff in 15s. You know? These are normally... I mean normally because there are exceptions to the vehicles. These are normally 3 tanks to a pack, and 15s are normally 5. But they're minimalist in that minimalist of parts because they're basically made for war gamers. But the models are pretty good. It's not like they're devoid of details. There's another company that kind of hit on it before them called Armor Fast. I don't know if they make things in 15. They may not. They may just be 20 millimeter stuff. But a lot of the things just don't have a lot of detail. So even though they don't look that bad in and of themselves, when you put them next to something that's not of that manufacturer, they look kind of, just kind of like something's missing on them, you know? So, but they're also the least expensive ones, so, you know. I came really close to buying a pack of the Panzer 4Ds. They make a Panzer 4D with the turret bustle, the turret storage thing behind it, because I hate German tanks that don't have that. You know, if it's a tank that didn't have it, well, it's different. But if it's a tank that came with it, I'd rather build a version that has the little storage behind the turret. Just looks better. And their Panzer 4D does have that, but it just doesn't have much detail to it. It's going to have to add a lot of stuff to it. So I'm probably not going to go that route on the 4D. I'm probably going to go with the Mirage, which is a Polish company. And even though they have a lot of... I do have some Armor Fast stuff. The first Shermans I did were Armor Fast. Actually, that was their first model. The M4 Sherman was the first model that Armor Fast did, and I think it's the crudest one that they have. But, you know, sometimes they'll do stuff like, they'll do like M10 tank destroyers, right? Well, M10 tanks destroyers are open-topped. And one of the things that's really pronounced on it. You know, they've got a turret, an open top turret with a 76 millimeter gun, a 3-inch gun in there. And the breech, so the back part of the gun, is visible inside the opening, and their original model did not have that breech in there. And it's really noticeable that it's missing that. I'm not so worried about, the breech isn't correct or it doesn't have the right handles on it or something like that, but it's pretty pronounced that it has a breech in there, and their early model of that didn't. They're just missing some details like that, you know. And, but, you know, they generally run about, even with shipping, maybe under $10 each by the time you buy 2 of them. So, you know, these run, well, these particular ones were under $10 each. Plastic Soldier Company. I think the Plastic Soldier Company stuff's great. Only gripe is they don't come with decals. But as long as they tell you up front, hey, these don't come with any decals, you could just source them from something else. But most of the time, by the time you get more than one model of something, the decals aren't very useful, because most manufacturers only come with maybe 1 or 2 different decal configurations. But that's why you got to have extra aftermarket stuff. Okay, she's done. We need to drill out the end of this 45 millimeter cannon. We should still have this thing here. We do. Perfect. Let's start this. But every manufacturer has a problem. Sometimes there's too much flash. The Russian and Ukrainian ones, the instructions tend to be poor. Sometimes there's too much flash, or they're the wrong scale. Although I'm not a very big scaleist, I'll mix 72nd and 76 together. I already had them. I'm not going to just throw away my 76 scale stuff. I prefer 72nd to 76th because the figures are oversized. So I'm not going to not use my 76 scale stuff. I would just rather not buy any more 76 scale things. But the figures I use are kind of oversized, heroic to a degree. Maybe not to a Games Workshop degree, but to a degree. Funny, I've only used photo etch one time on one thing, and I really liked it. But there's some major photo etch stuff out there. Some of the stuff, you know, they give you like all the mud flaps and stuff to replace with photo etch. And it's just, that's a bit much for this use. Need something that's got to be kind of robust for it to get handled. Robust to a degree. It. Just need to find a mold mark here. Then we use the back of this knife so we don't gouge it. The only thing that was a maybe is they had a couple of that one store in New York City, the Gred Caboose, had a set of the Armor Fast Stug 3Gs. And I already have a Stug 3G. I didn't want three more that, kind of don't have a whole lot of molded on detail. So I just like, nah, I don't really need this, I've been wanting to do these guys for a long time. These Plastic Soldier Company ones, and honestly, I've been really, really happy with them. The stuff almost does. You don't even have to use glue almost. I mean, you want to because it, the stuff could pop off, but the fit and finish on these is extraordinary. All right, let's get this thing here. Okay, and this little guy goes like this, and this little cannon fits okay on it. No, let's not pull that off. Let's just dribble some weld cement in there. If this thing moves, it's not the end of the world. There's just really no reason for it to move. Okay. And then we'll put this underneath. Okay. This cannon's sticking up kind of a bit of an angle. Don't mind if it's upright a little bit. Okay. And we can go ahead and take some of this off here. Do you have any Panzer VIs? Tigers? Yeah, I've got Cromwell models. Steel wheel Tiger 1. I don't have any King Tigers. Is that the only one I have? Maybe. I was going to put this thing with the hatch open. But if I do that, I'm going to encroach on this space. I think I'm going to make it, I don't think I'll make it closed. Okay, that's a suicidal move to be driving around with that thing open like. You better have a catcher's mitt with you. But I do not have, I had a King Tiger a long time ago and I sold it. It was unbuilt. It was an SG kit. you're going to be difficult? You get a set of these that's rubber tipped. Yeah, I pretty much got all the food groups for the Germans. As far as vehicles go, I'm actually not a big fan of the Tiger 1. It's not why I don't have it. It just figured I'd throw that in there. And it might be because most of the time that they no Yag Tiger. What's the nastiest thing I have? Probably that Tiger 1. I got about 3 or 4 Panthers. I got about 4 or 5 Panzer IVs that have a long 75, whether they're an H, a J, or a G. I got a lot of Panzer IIIs with long barrel 50s, mostly Ls. A Flammpanzer, I don't have any Nashorns or Vespas or Hummels. I got a Martyr 2D, which is ugly as sin. And I have a Martyr 3. Both of those have the Russian 76 millimeter gun rechambered as a 75. A really long thing. What else? Yeah, I just picked up stuff odds and no Yag Tiger. No Yag Tiger. I got an Elephant that's pre-made. It was a Dragon armor pre-made. I think I got it like 14 or 15 bucks a long time ago. A long time ago. It was one of the very first things that they ever made. And I wouldn't repaint that. I'm not repainting that thing. I'm also not going to mount it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, honestly. You know, sometimes you collect things, you're like, well, I don't know why the hell I got this. I really don't see myself really using this, but you have it. Now we're going to focus on the Panzer Gray time period Germans and their opponents. Oh, interesting. This is all kind of not wanting to stay connected. Well, we got ways to deal with you. You have 4 Martyr 3s and a Yag. 3 Martyr 3s. Yeah, I don't have any Martyr 3 H's or M's. M's being the ones that had the compartment all the way in the rear. Those are the ones that be. I think they started coming around at Kursk time period. Martyr 3Ms. Martyr 3H, that's the one that has a compartment in the middle. I think that's the best looking one. You know, if looks are important to you. Okay, so take a rubber band. I don't know how long I'm gonna make it because I'm already fading. I got up very early, like at 4 a.m. and I had to rush to the airport because they canceled our flight back from the Northeast. Couldn't They didn't cancel the flight. We just couldn't land at this airport due to fog, supposedly. Two elephants, yeah. Elephanten. Oh. All right, let's see how the fit and finish is on this. Okay, it looks all right. And one of the best things about the German armor is the markings you can put on them, because, like, marking wise, these guys suck. This is just a number or very rudimentary. Put the little muffler on there. Okay, and then up here, let's get this guy glued. Yep. Well, I'd like to finish this little guy before I've got to head to bed. And I didn't know I was going to be on here. I just needed to. Oh, it's been an hour. Okay, that's not too terribly bad. I don't like getting everybody all excited to be here, and then there's nothing here to be excited about. Okay, let's go to this side. Yeah, we put this on here. I'm going to call it a night, unfortunately. It's like snaps, just snaps right in. Oh, this is all going to be hand painted. I don't think see myself ever getting an airbrush. I don't need it. I don't need it to get things to turn out how I'm happy with. Fortunately. Okay, we don't know what we're going to do with the turret hatch. But here they are. This is what comes in a pack. 3 T70s. So, all right, folks. Well, I'm gonna have to let you go. I'm literally fading before my very eyes. But thanks for stopping by, even if it's only for a little bit. We'll be on later on this week.